The Fertile Crescent includes Israel, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Jordan. It also includes parts of Turkey, Iran, Egypt, and a few other countries. Nomads, otherwise known as hunter-gatherers, wandered around from place to place, following the herds. They hunted animals for food and gathered any plants like berries and nuts they could find. The issue with this, though, is they didn't know where there was going to be food, or if there was going to be food where they were going. This continued for some time, before eventually they figured out how to plant crops and tame animals. Most of them settled in the Mesopotamian region, but they also settled in other places along the Fertile Crescent. Mesopotamia was between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Sumer, or Sumer, whichever you prefer to pronounce it, was part of Mesopotamia and the Fertile Crescent. One reason its soil was so fertile is because of the mountains up north. It snowed very heavily there in the winter, and when it melted, it flowed into the river, and the river overflowed its banks, washed over the valley, and left really good fertile soil behind. The issue for the people inhabiting the region of Sumer was that they didn't know when it would flood and destroy their crops, or how to stop their crops from drying up in the summer. To solve the flooding issue, they built levees, which were big mounds of earth which they placed between the river and the fields. This prevented the river from overflowing into the fields. They made ditches through the fields with gates. When the fields needed water, they would open the gates and allow just enough in. They also invented the plough, which turns or loosens the soil, and planting. They use oxen to pull the plough through the fields. They produce so much crops that a lot of people stopped farming and just shared their neighbours' crops. The people of Sumer also invented the wheel and writing. Many different empires were formed along the Fertile Crescent, as you can see. God placed Israel in the perfect spot in the Fertile Crescent and really close to the Sinai Peninsula. Canal.